Having grown up in Southern Africa, I got my license at the age of 16. And then BMW just launched the K100 motorcycle. It was my dream. I always wanted to see the use of information technology in a product, and that meant the automotive industry was just perfect to do that. The future vision I have for the IT at BMW is that it's API-based, cloud-powered, and to develop a joyful customer experience in and outside the car.
BMW is more than 100 years old. It evolved very much, very complex over time.
So imagine the complexity of bringing across a compelling customer experience through 5,000 dealerships times the people working there. For the past 50 years, the dealers have been the single point of contact for our customers. So it is really key to incorporate all of the data into a 360-degree view of our customers. And this is exactly where the strengths of Salesforce and Mulesoft come together. Imagine Emma on her mobile phone. She's considering to buy an i3 and saves the configuration to her garage. Emma enters the dealership. She uses her mobile phone with the QR code from the configuration of the i3. The product genius receives the notification that it is Emma with her configuration.
The journey does not really end at the point when you sign a contract. That's when it really starts. As Emma drives on the road, our systems would actually detect that the tire pressure was going down a little.
So since we have the car integrated with our cloud, the agent can see that who is calling and has a complete picture of the customer and of the car.
The agent would see what the incident was. But he would not only just see that, he would also know how many kilometers or what mileage is on those tires. Maybe they shouldn't be fixed, they should be replaced.
With Mulesoft and Salesforce together, we were much faster in bringing data together, integrating our processes. We can integrate and build APIs 5 times faster than we used to do in the past. And this speed is in sync with what we have in our DNA.
The power of Mulesoft, it's amazing. It allows us to deliver a compelling customer experience.
Wow, let's give him a huge hand. So BMW is clearly reimagining what customer service experience should be. So I'm thrilled to have here with us René Wyss from the video. Let's give René a huge hand. Thank you, René. Thank you, René. René is really leading the charge for BMW to turn that vision into reality. And René, perhaps you can share with us a little bit, how does that vision translate into benefits for your customers?
Right. Well, first of all, thanks for the invitation and the great event here, Yuri. How that turns into benefit for the customers, well, first of all, we want to make sure that our customers have a unique experience with the brand. And as you yourself know, driving a 5 Series, the pleasure behind the steering wheel is perfect, I'd like to say. We want to take the same experience, the perfection, the joy of driving from behind the steering wheel to outside the car. So the experience of our customers should be outside the car just as joyful and as dynamic and emotional. And in order to do that, we have to link up a whole lot of touch points in the customer journey. As you know, it starts from the anonymous potential interest to somebody who wants to know about the car, maybe somebody who configures the car in the internet, goes to a dealer for a test drive, gets an offer, thinks about it, gets another offer, etc. And then, well, maybe buys it, leases it, picks it up, delivery, but then it goes on to service and repair and so forth. And that kind of experience, it's got to be seamless, it's got to be perfect for our customers. And for that point, we need to link up all the systems, all the data, and that's where the whole journey needs to be interconnected.
Yeah. So I can attest that if you make that experience as joyful as driving one of your cars, that would be amazing. But I know there are a lot of challenges to actually realize that. Maybe you can share with us a few of those.
Well, the challenges come with the product. And we like challenges, and we like our product. And the challenge with that is I'd like to say the vehicle, a premium car like a BMW, is probably the most sophisticated piece of work that a private person is allowed to operate in public space. Yeah? You wouldn't find any product that has the same complexity or the same sophistication. And if you look at the product, the vehicle, and then you look around of the ecosystem that goes along with that sophisticated product, as I said, it's service and repair, maintenance, but also the configuration, remote software update, etc. So if you look at that sophistication, it shows how many touch points you need to connect. And so the journey is very complex. It's very long. It's several years long in a lot of cases. And so that is complexity. But there's another level of complexity that we have. First of all, we operate in 140, 150 countries. And in all these markets, they historically developed. So we have a pretty heterogeneous system landscape. Anything you can imagine, I'd like to say from mainframe to blockchain, you'll have to integrate everything. It's not just the geographical coverage, but it's also the history we have. 100 years of, I think, very, very professional, very good automobile industry. That 100 years have brought a lot of legacy. So geographical scope, history of the systems, and the customer journey. That's a lot of complexity you have to cope with.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot. So maybe for a final question, maybe share with us a little bit, how can Mulesoft and Salesforce help you on your journey to overcome these challenges and realize that vision?
Mulesoft has helped us tremendously in order to interconnect the systems. So it's an integration layer that we use. The second aspect that helps us is the use of APIs. We've got a clear strategy, cloud first, API first, but you've got to implement that. And Mulesoft has helped us as an API gateway to allow us to implement, but also expose and publish these APIs. So what we've managed to do with Salesforce at a pretty fast speed is interconnect all the systems and giving our associates involved in the customer journey at any point in the journey the right data. So from the salesperson to the service agent, they have the right data of the customer they're helping, they're trying to advise, etc. And giving them the data that allows them to focus on our customer and not having to fiddle around with the systems trying to figure out where they would get which data for the customer. So that integration is definitely a great benefit for us.
Makes a ton of sense. René, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Big hand for René. We're honored to be able to support you in realizing that vision. And now, to look at that same vision through the eyes of a real-life demo, let me invite on stage our very own Sanjna Verma. Sanjna, come on up.
Thank you, Uri. So let's take a look and see how BMW has been able to create that ultimate service experience, how they've been able to unlock the data that they need instantly, build a single view of the customer with almost no code, and continue to share best practices throughout the organization. We're going to do this through the lens of Ashley, a BMW service team member who's currently in Service Cloud. As she does so, she wants to be able to pull information and create a dynamic experience for her while she's on this call. However, Ashley's frustrated. She can see only very basic case details right now, and she needs more information, like the vehicle identification number or the mileage and the model number to really be productive. Because that information is stored in various different systems, she spends more time swivel chairing than actually helping her customer. So Ashley wants to change this and create a better connected experience. She starts off by opening Lightning and dragging and dropping in the specific Lightning web component to be productive. The details that she wants are stored in BMW's SAP systems. Because of that, this is where the connected experience starts to break. She needs integration between Service Cloud and SAP, and Ashley doesn't consider herself to be an integration expert. Luckily for Ashley, BMW is a Mulesoft customer. She has access to Anypoint Platform where she can unlock and transform her enterprise data no matter where it resides. She starts by going into Anypoint Exchange, which is BMW's integration marketplace. Here, she has access to hundreds of pre-built connectors, so she can connect to systems automatically. This includes systems like ServiceNow and Workday. She has access to hundreds of integrations that are already pre-built, called accelerators, so she can jumpstart her projects quickly. She has access to pre-built APIs, so she can transform her data in compliance with BMW's best practices. Thanks to Exchange, Ashley's empowered to use these components and self-serve without waiting for access from any other person or team. Here, she finds a vehicle master data project. When she reads through the documentation, she can see that it's pulling data from a variety of different sources, very similar to what she's hoping to do right now. Just to confirm that it's exactly what she's looking for, she can take a look at the example data and see how it would look and appear if she were to put it in Service Cloud. The great beauty of this is that the hard work of the integration is already done for her. All she has to do is accept and use this API. She's going to copy the API URL and take it back into her Lightning Web component. As soon as she pastes in the endpoint and saves it, that's it. The systems are now integrated, and she gets all of the dynamic data that she was looking for automatically. That's the beauty of integration, and the magical days of solo sharing are over. The BMW service team is much happier and more productive. Now, Ashley wants to take this, exactly. She wants to take this one step further and really create a differentiated, connected experience. She wants to pull in more dynamic information, like the vehicle pressure tire sensors or the battery levels. That's stored in a different database. And Ashley knows that if she had that information, she and her team could be way more proactive in their engagement on the call as they're scheduling that i3 service. But how? Ashley still doesn't consider herself to be an integration expert. But she goes back into Anypoint Platform and opens the Flow Designer, which is Mulesoft's graphical web-based environment. She doesn't have to start from scratch. She's going to open up the Vehicle Master Data project, and it's largely built out for her. She just has to pull in and establish the database connection by putting in the database connector. And as she does so, she gets a really guided experience. She establishes connection to the database and then has to query for the specific data that she wants to pull out from it. Despite her not being a SQL expert, she can still pull in the sensor data that she wants to expose without having to write any code. Lastly, once she's done this, she has to ensure that Service Cloud can understand the data that's coming in from both SAP and this database. And this is typically where her anxiety really arises. It becomes a really complex data flow with a lot of fields. However, Flow Designer leverages Einstein's recommenders algorithm to automatically suggest mappings. All she has to do is hit preview to actually see what Einstein recommends. Then, once it fits her needs, she can just apply them, and that's it. The data transformation has been done before her. She just has to save the API and go back and refresh her dashboard to get that proactive experience. And there it is. She can see right now that the front right tire pressure for this customer is low. She can point it out for her customer while she's in that call. And this is just the beginning for her and the BMW team. They can take this information and surface it in a mobile application. They can enhance the predictions with Einstein, or they can even integrate with Salesforce Voice. But most importantly, Ashley and her team are confident that anyone can take on these initiatives going forward. The entire team is empowered to unlock the data they need when they need it. They can continue to enhance the connected experiences that they need when they need it and when they identify it. And most importantly, they continue to learn from each other and share the best practices, all thanks to the power of Mulesoft and Salesforce. Back to you, Uri.